if you want it all put out there for you, along with some action, this is definitely not the movie for you. And there's a lot of people I don't think that realize that when they go into this movie. Confusing things that are just perplexing people, like Julia Roberts dancing. Shit, sounds like, boy, this woman had all the imagery in this movie right here. That's the one I don't get. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
His dancing ain't that much better.
Boy, it's something, well, you know what? Because she's sucking the rhythm out of him, man. If she wasn't there, he'd be doing all right. When mom takes a Xanax and some wine and she invites a special friend over. Somebody said she could get it though. I think he was thinking about it too.
Oh yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna move a little bit, let her do her thing.
Yeah, that's what he was winding. You see him wind himself up?
And have to mentally keep a note of where Ethan Hawke is so he don't walk in on it.
Come look at my records.
I know, the moment he's like, oh, you want to see my record collection? Like, all right, girl, you know what this is.
Ain't about to drop that needle on her ass. Man, that's an old line. Hey, you want to see my record collection?
I know.
Bitch, you know what you're doing. Please. Double Toasted Live in Los Angeles is going to be Saturday, April 27th for a night of comedy games and that after party. We're going to be talking about the #1 streaming movie on Netflix. And I think there's even some people saying that this is just #1 in streaming in general. It's being talked about very much. And this is a movie called Leave the World Behind. Now, with this movie here, a lot of people are talking about it because it's a movie that leaves a lot to the audience to decide what is going on with this. A lot of people are discussing this movie. A lot of people are trying to interpret the ending of the film and trying to figure out what continues even when the movie is done. So I figured that we kind of do the same thing. The movie's been out for a week already, just don't want to give a regular review. Kind of want to get on that discussion too. So when you do that, spoilers are going to be unavoidable. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to be spoiled, this is why we're saving this for last. By all means, please do not listen. If you want to stick around at your own risk. Should be an interesting discussion either way. But with this movie, it already has an interesting premise. So you have a couple played by Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, and they decide that they want to take a trip. Mainly the wife, Julian, played by Julia Roberts right here. She says, I just want to get away from people because I hate them. And I thought it'd be nice to go out to the countryside, nice excluded place. Very nice house that they got out there. I mean, that house is almost too nice to be built that isolated out in the woods. You know what I'm saying? It's like people should be able to see that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just too nice to be hidden like it is.
It's a very nice house. But hey, man, if you had a chance to Airbnb that, you would.
Oh, I certainly would. Oh, yeah. And that's exactly what they do. But the last thing you want with Airbnb is for the people you rent it from to be showing up in the middle, in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I just want to know, can I come back home and stay with y'all? That's what they say, yeah. The owners come back in the middle of the night, played by Mahershala Ali. And do you know the daughter, what her name is?
It's something like Mahala.
Yeah, look that up for me, sir.
I just saw it.
But they show up talking about why these people have rented this place, legit. It's one thing to show up at all. Hey, can I get a room? I mean, it's my house. But it's one thing to show up in the middle of the night. But they say that, hey, listen, there's something going on in the city, some power outages and some other things. And we think it would just be safer for us to come back and stay in our own place. Now, listen, let me see that right there. Now, listen, keep the house. You paid for it. You get all the perks and you get
we refund your money.
Yeah, give you half the money back and everything. We don't mind taking the basement, but we really don't feel right about going back to the city. And immediately, Julia Roberts starts questioning these people. At first, you're kind of like, why don't you calm your ass down? But then you think about it and it's like, yeah, you know what? I mean, it's not cool the way you're saying it, but you kind of got a point. Because meanwhile, the husband, played by Ethan Hawke, his goofy ass, it sounds true to me.
Well, don't forget that these people who show up in the middle of the night wanting to stay back in their place that you rented from them are black.
Yes, and there is. And she's like, oh, hell no. Black people don't have a house this night. Oh, no, hell no. No, y'all lying. But yeah, and the daughter is played by Mahala Harold.
Then she just goes by Mahala.
Mahala. And so, Mahala. There you go. Thank you so much for that. Now, I'm going to say this. We're going to watch the trailer, but the least said about the movie, the better. You know, it's best that you go in with this movie not knowing too much about it, especially, you know, going too much past the first act even. And this movie is split up in chapters. The less you know about that first chapter, the better it is going into this movie. Now, we don't have to worry about that with you at this moment, but just in case some people are sticking around, and because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a review first.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the movie, tell you what I think about the film, as you will too, and that will not be a spoiler right there. But after we're done with that, that is when we're going to get into our discussion about the ending of this movie and some of the other details that are not exactly explained fully, that are left to us to talk about amongst ourselves. So let's take a look at this trailer.
You. I don't believe you. I would do anything to protect my family. What you do is your business.
I'm gonna stop that right there because, like I said, the least you know, the better. Because I'm gonna tell you with this movie, what I like about it is that it's a disaster movie written like a thriller. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost a mystery because when this family goes to this Airbnb here, and these people show up, you know, it's a lot of this is left to the viewers to decide what's happening with this situation. You know, is society really falling apart like people are saying, or these characters are saying, or is the Mahershala Ali, his character is called GH? You know, is he lying? You know, is he even who he says he is? Is he using bigger events for his own purposes? Mm-hmm. You know, at first you don't really know what's happening here. Again, it feels more like a thriller, and it feels like this guy could be trying to pull something on these people, or maybe these people are just very paranoid and he's telling the truth. We don't really know when it starts out. And that's another thing that I like about this. The paranoia between these characters, man, it just thickens as it goes along. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what you feel about this movie here because I haven't talked to you about it yet. I didn't even know you watched it until today. But, you know, these characters, their distrust of each other, I really enjoyed seeing that because, for one, not only do they distrust each other, but they're isolated and they're cut off from news out there. And so everybody's confused, especially Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts' characters. They're confused about what's happening in the cities. And even if what's happening in the cities, if there is something happening, is it as bad as they're being told?
Right, because they have no way to verify it.
No, they don't. And so is this something apocalyptic? You know, or is it something minor? You don't know, man. And like I said, Julia Roberts' character, man, she's coming off as a real bitch, but it's like, man, you know what? I mean, she's making some good points here.
Yeah. And I do like that gray area-ness of it, where, yeah, she comes off like a, you know, you'd say a Karen, but she's kind of a bitch, and she seems a bit racist, or at least prejudiced. But if you really look at it, what she's saying, you know, is reasonable. Her paranoia is reasonable.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about these characters. They write these characters to keep you guessing. Because first of all, when the movie opens up, Julia Roberts' character, she looks right at the camera and says, Karen, I'm proud of it. She said, I don't like nobody. She almost points at the camera like, yeah. I don't like your ass either.
Right.
You know, she's like, I hate people. And they already set her up as a very distrustful person. Not only distrustful, but just angry.
Yeah.
And so later,
unpleasant.
Just angry. Somebody even in the movies like, why are you so goddamn mad all the time? Your husband must hate you. But everybody here has their own thing going on that makes them someone that you cannot feel comfortable with. Mahershala Ali, he's charming. Too charming. You know? I'm like, brother, you laying this on real thing. And he conveniently doesn't have certain bits of information when he gets questioned. Uh-huh. He's like, oh, what do you know? I don't have my wallet with me.
Well, he's charming, but it feels like he's going out of his way to try to make people feel comfortable.
Trying too hard. Uh-huh. Yeah. The daughter, Ruth, she just don't like white people.
She's just as bad as Julia Roberts.
I can't stand her.
Yeah.
She's
almost
rude.
Worse.
She's
yeah,
bratty.
She's rude. Yeah.
Yeah, both of them together are bad. In fact, when they're in the room together, don't strike a match because all of them ready to blow up.
Because the two dudes, they can get along. Because you like to say Ethan Hawke, he's just so goofy and like, hey man, I'm sure everything's cool and we can work this out. It was just up to the two of them. They can be Starsky and Hutch. But the two women, they ain't gonna let there be peace.
No, none at all, man. Not at all. And again, sometimes you feel like it's really shitty that these women are being like this. Sometimes it's like, well, y'all the one keeping them smart, because because and it goes back and forth, and I really like that. But I tell you, whether or not you like these characters, the performances are great.
Yeah, fantastic performances.
By everybody. I got to tell you, and all of them have different personalities that play so well off each other. Mm-hmm. And I like each one of them for different things, man. Like I said, Mahershala Ali is very charming, man. And at moments, you almost kind of snap yourself out of it because like, man, what if he is lying? Because I'm falling for his shit. Nice
right.
And man, Ethan Hawke's character, you just want to throw a ball and have him go fetch it. He's just like, but he's such a nice guy. And Ethan Hawke is great in this. Oh, yeah. Julia Roberts. I don't even know if I've seen this bitch before, man, but
that's what people are talking about because they're so used to her being America's sweetheart.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, no, not like Crash.
That's true. No, she goes back to kind of being that chick, man. Yeah, he mentioned like she was kind of like that in Crash. I think she goes a little bit harder here, man. And like I said, the character of Ruth, she's, that actress is very well, man. The movie moves at such a slow pace. And I will even say that the pacing probably would be a little slow for me, but these performances, when they come in, they are what keep the movie moving for me because I love watching them.
Yes, but I do still think that it's a bit slow and too long.
There's a lot of movies that just don't need to be 2 hours or 21 minutes today. Yeah. And I'd say that kind of about this movie too, because I'm saying that about a lot of movies, and I think this could have been cut a little bit shorter. This might not be good, and I can't speak for everybody out there, but this might not be good for those who see the trailer right here, because the more you get into the trailer, the more this looks like more of an apocalyptic thriller and action movie. Now, if you look at the trailer right here, like they have scenes of, car crashes and stuff like that. And when you look at this and you're getting the impression like I'm about to go see one of these Roland Emmerich movies right here.
Yeah, it's not that.
It ain't that, all right? It's you're looking for an action disaster movie. Mm-hmm. It ain't that.
Right.
Even though I would tell you that okay, so
there are moments, but it's not what the movie is.
No, and those moments that they have are very good. Like that Tesla scene, that was actually a really tense and well put together scene, man.
And a lot of that is just Sam Esmail, the director.
Yeah,
like his camera work and the kind of stuff he used to do on Mr. Robot.
That's true.
He keeps it exciting and fresh. And even when there's not an action scene, just the drama between people, he knows how to up the tension.
Yeah, no, he does. He really does. In addition to people who might be looking for a faster paced action thriller or apocalyptic thriller, if you're looking for The Walking Dead or some shit like that, that's not what you have here. Also, this is more slow and dramatic. In addition to that, it's also more vague. There's a lot of stuff, as I said when I started this review, there's a lot of stuff that's not explained. There's a lot of stuff left to the viewer to decide. It's not just, storylines and plot. I mean, there's imagery in here that pretty much is just interpretative. There's the fate of some characters are left open. There's some situations are left open, but then there'll be some things that happen here that, you just don't know what's going on. They got this scene where these swole ass deer just rolling up on people, just rolling up on people and flexing in front of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bring your ass over here. Beat your ass. They don't tell you some of these things, like what this imagery is for. So, if you want it all put out there for you, along with some action, this is definitely not the movie for you. And there's a lot of people I don't think that realize that when they go into this movie. Confusing things that are just perplexing people, like Julia Roberts dancing. Shit, sounds like, boy, this woman had all the imagery in this movie right here. That's the one I don't get. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
His dancing ain't that much better.
Boy, it's something. Well, you know what? Because she's sucking the
She's sucking the rhythm
She's
out
sucking
of
the
him.
rhythm out of him, man. If she wasn't there, he'd be doing all right. When mom takes a Xanax and some wine and she invites her special friend over. Somebody said she could get it though. I think he was thinking about it too.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna move a little bit, let her do her thing.
Yeah, that's what he's winding. You see him wind himself up?
And have to mentally keep a note of where Ethan Hawke is so he don't walk in on it.
Come look at my records.
I know. The moment he's like, oh, you want to see my record collection? I'm like, all right, girl, you know what this is.
Ain't about to drop that needle on her head. Come on. Man, that's a whole lie. Hey, you want to see my record collection?
I know.
Bitch, you know what you're doing. Please. I hear what you're saying with Sam Esmail here. I love his camera work, man. Now I don't know. Maybe he's just that bad and we don't know it.
What do you mean?
Because some of his camera work is crazy. Like, like the camera. Sometimes the camera look like somebody dropped it and it fell on his side.
Well, man, I guess you used to watch Mr. Robot. You remember how many times he had a shot where the person is down in the corner?
Oh hell yeah, he does that here.
Yeah,
there's a whole shot where ain't nothing but empty space up here and just two heads there in the corner. Like, don't ever ask him to take your phone and take a picture of you at a restaurant or something. Y'all will be over here. And
yeah. Check the photo before he walks away.
Hell yeah.
Like, come on, get us in the center, man.
Exactly. Don't be at the park and ask him to take a picture. You be trees over here. You just be a little speck over here. Nah, man. But I do like his camera work because he does a lot of overhead shots. He does a lot of creative shots like that on his side, and he plays with the movement when he does those shots too. So I like his camera work. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe he's terrible and we just took it as art, but find out he's half blind.
He's like, I don't have any formal training.
No. He's dyslexic or some shit. I do really enjoy this movie, man. Even for all the slow pacing that's in it, because I think that the tension really worked with the way he set this up. And stuff I'm not telling you about, I think as the movie gets amped up, those things, the tension is even more increased when those elements are brought in. It's I just love that they combined, this premise of a disaster movie, but presented it as a mystery and a thriller. It for me, it worked. And a lot of this, I think, even if the story is not working for you, because when they get right down to it, it ain't, it's not as big a twist as you think it is. In fact, it's not even trying to be a twist. They do give you an explanation of what is happening here, but I don't know. Some people are thinking supernatural, and some people are thinking of other things. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's not as out there as you think.
And the fact that the way it's broken into 4 chapters, I didn't think was necessary. It seemed like it could have just told its story like it was. I think
they did that because it's based on a book.
Yeah,
where they changed a lot of things also. With
yeah. But it seemed to like we're doing that, like, oh, this chapter. It seems like it's building it up to something bigger than what it ends up being. At an hour and a half, or even maybe just slightly less, it could be more concise and really tell that story. Because a lot of people are having problems with the vagary of it. I wasn't so much with that. Like, I don't need to have everything spelled out. I think it did that pretty well. But there's so much going on where it's like, when it was all said and done, I had that feeling of, this was cool, and I certainly enjoyed the paranoia and the mystery. But when it was all said and done, it gets to what it is by the end, I was like, that's not as fulfilling as I thought. It was fun while I watched it, but where it ends up leaves me at a place where I don't hold it in my heart, where I go like, wow, that was awesome. I want to come back and watch that again. It was like, well, it had these things that I do remember, especially that Tesla scene. That was really good. And I love the performances to death. But overall, I don't know. I liked it more in parts than I did as a whole. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. No, it makes it personal. What would you rate it?
I would still give it would still be a low matinee for me.
Okay. So I think for me, and I can understand the pacing not working for everybody. I think for me, the pacing worked in the sense that when you have a movie they're building up a lot of tension. I can forgive the pacing of, oh my God, I don't want that noise in there. I can forgive the pacing where the tension it benefits from a slower pace. Because this really is a slow build for me. And the times where it's slowed down, and the performances were kicking in, especially when everybody was just being very paranoid of each other. The slower you move sometimes, I mean, listen, you can move too slow, but they moved at a pace where it was nerve-wracking for me. It was enough for me to give this a low full price. I did enjoy liking this. And it was also a low full price for me because the framing and the camera work and everything, not only did I think it was was cool framing, but I just thought that it added some really creativity to the direction. I love the direction in this. Also the editing. There's some editing choices in here where, there's a lot of humor in this movie too. It's not a comedy by any means, but there's a lot of humor in it. Sometimes it's just accentuated by the editing. Like when, Julia Roberts says, "I hate people," and it just cuts right to the title card. And I was like, okay, shit, man, here we go. Let's get right into it. Yeah, man. No, I liked it. But for some people out there, yeah, I can understand them not liking it at all. It all depends on what elements are appealing to you. Let's get into some spoilers right here because some people are talking about the movie, and I don't think a lot of people are confused. I think a lot of people just maybe about some things, but some people are just walking away with their own interpretation of things too. And if there's anything that people are confused about in this, it would be some of the imagery that's presented that's never explained.
Yeah.
Like them swole ass deer that came up, know. I was reading a lot on the film right here. Do that with movies I like and everything's not explained. A lot of times you see something that's not explained and it's imagery that's in there that's being left for the audience to decide. It's usually it's in there that for some sort of
is it metaphorical?
Metaphorical, or it's meant to be a message for something, or it's meant to be, something where they want to represent this as something going on in the movie that, again, is more metaphorical. Like, for example, the deer that are here right now. Those are the deer, and I read this from the director. The deer are walking up, pretty much letting people know that we're about to be running things.
Yeah.
Technology is kind of dying here. So in the movie, what the deal is. In the movie, that by the end of the film, this is for people, we're talking spoilers here now. By the end of the film, it's been revealed that what's going on is a terrorist attack. From who? We don't know, because it's been reported from different places. There's even been leaflets that say it's from a different place. And what is happening is pretty much the powers that be, and we don't know who those powers are, but they decided to let America just tear itself up. They took you take a cell phone away. We doing this shit right here already. Yeah. They take email away. I'm not email, but they take the internet away. They take certain technology away. They take communication away, and people start to distrust each other, and people turn on each other. And then civil war happens. And in the cities, it happens quick to the point you have rogue factions going and attacking each other, and bombs being dropped on the city. There's also weird forms of attack, like attacks with sound waves and sonic waves that people don't know what the repercussions or effects of those are going to be yet, which we're going to talk about. But with all the technology crumbling, society falling apart, this is these deer represent nature saying, yeah, maybe yesterday we were scared of your ass, but not today. Yeah, who you gonna call now? Yeah, pull that cell phone out now. This is the deer represent two things that once seemed innocent, now are very threatening. And this is nature saying, yeah,
your time is up.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we got this shit. But some of the more sinister things in the movie, people say, oh no, those deer are pretty sinister right now. But there are some things in the movie that pretty much border on body horror and
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so this is going to be a little rough for people who are squeamish out there. But there's a big discussion about the son, Archie. So they have two kids, Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts characters. They have two kids, Archie and Rose. Archie is an older teenager boy, and he one day starts getting a fever and runs real hot. Next day he wakes up and he's like, no, I feel much better, except, well, my fucking his teeth start falling out. And it's a scene that made my flesh crawl, his teeth falling out and nerve endings and all that kind of stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That was perfect.
then it cut to a Burger King commercial. Nah, man. The whole thing with this kid's teeth falling out, it's already adding to a situation that seems already grim. I mean, it's the last thing they need.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he got bit by a tick, and maybe he tells his parents, like, maybe I have Lyme disease or something. But what do you think happened with this?
Well, okay, I guess we're going into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Because they go see Kevin Bacon, who's, seems more of a doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
And the thing he talked about that happened in Cuba with the sound waves, I was like, I think he's right on this one.
Yeah, because, okay, so I will say one thing about the movie that I thought
Although it didn't make sense that it only affected him and not everybody else.
Yeah. I think the character, I like Kevin Bacon in this. He's great. And I no need to tell you that. I thought it was weird that he's out in this really nice area and he's dressed up like a damn redneck.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And I think that's because, they made him the stereotypical doomsday guy.
He's a bit of a cartoon.
Yeah, and I thought, man, that's too much of a caricature for this character.
I thought from the way the movie was going, I thought he was too much of a caricature.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like Kevin Bacon. I even like his performance, but I just felt like this character doesn't really fit with everything else here.
No, all these people out here in this nice ass area. All these well-to-do people.
He's like, oh yeah, my contractor lives here. And I was like, all right, this dude lives in this house here? God
damn, boy. How much is he charging?
Right.
That's what he was talking about, these sound waves. Now, yeah, there's a lot of things in the movie. They're talking about there are areas of the city that you can't go into because there's radiation now. They've been using radiation weapons.
Yeah.
Those sound waves are one of them. So one of the things that they leave unspoken here is that, okay, it's up to you to decide whether, is it a tick? Look, ain't no tick gonna do that. Right. All right, and make all your teeth fall out like that. He obviously has radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
So the thing that you have to think about with this, which I think is cool that they left this for the audience to decide, is first of all, is Archie gonna live? Because all Kevin Bacon's character does is give him a couple of antibiotic pills.
Right.
And that ain't gonna do shit.
That ain't gonna do shit. And sure ain't gonna get his teeth back.
The way things are going, I mean, look, it's society's crumbled. Like if he lives, he gonna have to eat soup because he ain't gonna have no teeth. He's gonna have to be like that. Be like George Washington, carve some teeth or something. Right. But the scary thing about that is not only him dying, but additionally, is everybody else sick? Because everybody else heard the same waves. Sure. And do they just not know that they are sick yet? In the book, it's hinted that, yeah, something's going on with everybody, man. Like Ethan Hawke's character, he starts to feel pain in his joints. And he says, this is funny. Maybe I'm just tired, or maybe I'm just scared. But it's kind of like, nah, it is.
Yeah.
All of y'all are probably sick. So it's, it's open to interpretation, even in the book. Archie dies in the book, by the way, I think. Okay. But everybody else, it's like, man, I think all of y'all are
okay,
doomed.
Yeah, because things don't look good for Archie at all.
No, hell no. Archie need to go anyway. Ain't nobody gonna want him with that kind of mouth.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
So he deserved to die.
Well, out of all the characters, he was the least interesting.
Yeah, no, I get it. What you think about Rose?
The second least interesting.
Because Rose didn't want to do nothing but watch Friends.
Right.
I did find it interesting what the director said about Rose, and I think even the author, they said, that's not much going on with Rose. She just wants to watch Friends, but that's the thing with her, man. It's like out of all the shit that's happening, it's kind of funny that she just wants to watch the last episode of Friends, and at the end of the movie, she finds a bunker, like one of them like super bunkers with a whole CD collection, DVD collection of Friends, and she puts it on. She's happy as hell. She don't give a f- the apocalypse happening. But that's the funny thing about it is like they say that she's gonna be the main one to adapt.
Sure.
Because all she wants to do is watch Friends.
Yeah, she is not letting anything break her stride. All she cares about is Friends. The world's coming to an end. But I can see Friends though, right?
Yeah, she's in heaven, man. She said, can't nobody bother me.
She's Burgess Meredith in that episode of Twilight Zone. The world comes to an end, but hey, she got her books, so she's got her friends. Yeah. Long as the last VCR doesn't break down. Yeah,
it's VCR breaks. Like, there was time. There was time. Yeah, she's eating Captain Crunch. She left because everybody. What I like about Rose, everybody was arguing and tense and getting crazy and losing teeth, and she like all this. I'm gonna go find someplace by myself. I'm gonna eat some Captain Crunch, watch some Friends. Y'all deal with this shit. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's things like that that makes me like this movie. That they left a lot to the audience to figure out, or kind of just carry with themselves after the movie's done. So there you go.
Well,
folks.
I did like that characters that had tension with each other. When shit started going down, they had to bond. They had to, work it out.
Yeah. Oh, which characters? All of them?
Yeah. Well, Julia Roberts with Mahala, and then even her with Mahershala.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. I will say this about the movie: they have points where they're annoying, and then there's points where you're like, oh well, I kind of flipped on you. I agree with you, but none of them are super annoying.
No.
I thought they were going to try to get to a point. They're going to try to make them villains. They have one person like you always had that person or that character in a zombie movie where they're total assholes the whole time,
right.
and they for everybody.
Yes.
They open the door and let the zombies in. I'm gonna do this because I'm an asshole.
I say we open it and see what some of the zombies have to say.
No. Fuck, I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Y'all know they never had that person in here, man.
No.
All right, y'all. That is it.